Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a first impression review on the new Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I'm also doing a wear test like I always do for all my foundation first impressions. You'll see a demo, how I apply this to my skin with and without primer, and also how it wears throughout the day. This claims to be a 12-hour wear foundation, so we're going to try and wear it for 12 hours and see how it looks throughout that entire 12-hour period. So if you want to see more about this foundation, the demo, and how it wears throughout the day, then just keep watching. Today we are going to be doing a first impression review on the new Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. This has been probably one of my most requested foundation videos to do, and I wanted to do one of my wear tests for you guys on this. Initially I wasn't going to pick it up because it is quite a steep price tag. It's $56 and I don't typically like stick foundations, but I kept hearing good things about this. I figured why not, let's check it out. You guys seem to want to see this as well. So I shopped on Sephora. As I said, it was $56 Canadian. I picked up the shade Warm Beige, which was described as a medium with a neutral undertone. This is what the stick looks like. It has a pretty good weight to it, and I just like the way it feels. It has the triangular shape, which I'm sure you guys have seen this already. Like all my first impression reviews, I'm going to prime one side of my face just to see if that changes the wear or how it glides on my skin. I figured I'm going to stick with Hourglass and use their primer for this. And I'm going to put this on the right side of my face. This is their Mineral Veil Primer. I'm just going to put some on the right side of my face. We're going to let that side kind of sink in, and we're going to go ahead and apply the foundation to the left side of my face. And I'm going to be using my MAC 170 brush. It seemed to be the most similar brush I own compared to the one they came out with for this foundation. It actually looks like it's going to be a pretty good match. I'm going to do 2 stripes on my cheek, a little on my chin, nose, and forehead. And this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation from what I hear. That looks pretty undetectable on the skin. So that is actually a spot on match for me. Looks really good. I'm not matching my face, as you can tell I'm matching my body. My face is obviously much lighter. And this can be used as a concealer as well. Found that really easy to blend out. I feel like that was more of a medium coverage for me personally though with the amount I put on. So I'm definitely going to build it up, but I'm going to go on to the right side of my face and just see how that applies over top of the primer. Feels super silky. I don't notice too much of a difference between the sides. I feel like this one looks slightly more matte and it has corrected my pores, whereas this one looks a little bit shiny just based on the primer. I don't think it went on any better on either side. This one did feel a little bit slick because of the primer, and I felt like it clung a bit to the forehead just because it was already setting on the prime side, but it looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more to build it up. To me, this is more of a medium coverage, so I'm definitely going to build this up. That is what the foundation looks like on the skin so far. I think it has really good coverage. It covered up some blemishes I had on my face. I will be using a different concealer. I wanted to try out the Tarte Shape Tape today, so I'm going to be using that. I'll have to look and see what skin types this is geared towards, but to me right now it looks like it's very dewy on me, and I have dry skin, for those who are wondering, and it looks pretty dewy on my dry skin. I'm going to zoom you guys in close so you can kind of see how it looks like on my skin up close. You can tell there's a lot of dewiness to this foundation. It's not clinging to any dry patches or anything like that. It's very dewy. I'm going to do a flash test to see if there's any flashback with this. I don't think there's any flashback. I'm just really shiny and you can see the light kind of in my skin. So this is a very dewy foundation on me. I didn't think it was going to be so dewy. Now I'm just going to go off camera and finish off the rest of my face, and I'll come back and talk to you a little bit more about this foundation. Hey guys, I am back. I just completed my face, and you would have seen in a little clip that I showed you how it kind of did something funky on my nose. And sometimes I have that issue. I'm not holding it against this foundation. It's because I used the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on my nose and I baked with it. Just the combination for me personally did not work. Sometimes that happens with me. If you're the same way as me, then I might avoid that combination just because sometimes you have to play around with different foundations and concealers to see what works best. And that happens. So not holding it against the foundation. I just wanted to make that aware because that's the concealer I did use. You can use this as a concealer as well, so I think it works really great for the face. I personally would need a lighter shade to use underneath my eyes, so that's why I went with my Tarte Shape Tape to brighten the under eye area, and I like the way it works underneath the eyes. It's just my nose, for whatever reason, it just did not work for me, as you could tell from that clip I showed you. On camera right now, the skin looks absolutely flawless. In person, it looks really good as well. I'll be doing close-ups throughout my entire day for you guys to see. It says it's an invisible full coverage. I had to set my foundation with powder. It was just too slippery for me and too dewy. I like a dew, but that was just too much for me. So I did set it with powder like I normally do for all my foundations. It still looks like I'm wearing makeup. I think when I had a medium coverage, it definitely looked more realistic in terms of how it felt on my skin. Setting it, it definitely looks like you're wearing makeup, but before I set my makeup, it did look quite skin-like. It was just a little too dewy for me personally. It hasn't clung to any dry patches. I am dry. So right now it looks really good. As I said, I will continue to check in throughout the day. I just want to make sure I covered all my bases. It says it's a 12-hour wear foundation, so I'm going to try and wear it the full 12 hours. I started at 10, so I think I can make it till 10 o'clock. We'll see with my kids. It says it's a waterproof formula. It says it has the fluidity of a liquid, which I definitely can attest to. It's not like your typical stick foundation if you steer clear of them like me. It's actually really quite liquidy when you put on your skin, which is odd. Weightlessness of a powder for invisible full coverage. And I would definitely say those two are right, except I feel that you can definitely see it if you're going to set it, which I had to because it looked almost oily for me personally. You can use these for concealer, you can use them for contouring and highlighting. I think the shape of this is ingenious. Typically with a stick foundation, you will see that circular shape, but this has that triangular, so you can really get underneath your eye if you're going to conceal, around your nose, or it's perfect for contouring. I just think the shape of it is innovative. It's very ingenious, as I said. There's definitely a great range of shades. I'm using Warm Beige, as I said, which is a medium beige with neutral undertone, and I think it's pretty much spot on for me personally. I will list my foundation shades down below in case you're similar to my coloring. Something really cool about this is actually it says that it's designed to adjust to your own body temperature to blend into your skin. That could be why it's such a perfect match. It's literally perfection. It says it has 2 times the pigment, so that's why you get such little product, but I felt I still needed to layer on quite a bit to get my desired coverage. So even though it says you need to use less, I still found that I used the same amount as I would any other stick foundation, so I don't think the pigmentation for my personal preference was there for me. I did have to build it up quite a bit. So that's the only thing I kind of disagree with right there, is the amount I had to use. I felt like I still had to use a considerable amount to get the coverage I needed. But if you wanted just a medium coverage, definitely just a few stripes and you're there. But to build it up to a full, you definitely had to go back and build it up, I think. So I will check back in with you guys in a couple hours to see how it's wearing. And as I said, I will try to wear it the full 12 hours to see if it does live up to that claim. as you just saw, all my check-ins throughout the day, you could see how this foundation was wearing. It has been 10 hours now. It hasn't been the full 12, but I feel like after the 10-hour mark, I can tell you my opinion on this foundation. It's not going to get any better than it is right now. And I do have a couple issues with it. There's some things that I really do like about it, but there's some things that were less than impressive for me. So I'm kind of on the fence right now about it, but I'm going to tell you why. From the close-ups, you can tell that this completely wore off my chin, and it held up pretty good everywhere else on my face, but it started to cling around my nose, and it started to settle into my fine line that I have right in between my brows. That was definitely more noticeable. I feel as though this foundation, it would be good if I took the steps that I typically take if I used a pore filling primer and if I was able to set my face with a setting spray. I honestly feel like this foundation would be really good for me if I just did my normal steps. However, I wanted to try out the foundation on its own to see how it wore. I honestly don't see a difference between the primed and unprimed side. A pore filling primer would do this foundation so good just because of how it looks on my nose and how it sunk into the lines in between my brows. Right off the bat, that's kind of the bad about this foundation. The good, it did wear really well. And one thing I actually love about this foundation is how it photographs. And I took some photographs after I did my full face of makeup, and I love how it looks on camera, and that's both in photo and on video. I think it looks stunning on video as well. Overall, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like it. The price is just, I don't know. The price is $56 Canadian, and for the amount you get, it's not very much. It's 0.25 ounces for $56, and it does say it's double the pigment. But with the amount I had to use to get to the coverage that I personally like, I just can't justify the price for that, especially because I have to use the amount I did. If, say, I only had to use a couple stripes, I think it would definitely be worth checking out, but because of the price tag, and if you personally like a foundation that's full coverage like me, to get the finish that I like, and if you have similar skin type as I do, I feel like you're going to have the same or similar issues as I do, I would recommend getting a sample. I wouldn't say go out and buy it right away, just because of the issues I have. I just can't fully recommend this product based on the issues that I personally had. But that being said, I don't hate it. And you can see it looks really good, but it just had some issues that I think could easily be corrected from other products. Then you're adding on even more money to a product that's already pretty pricey. This should be doing the trick just as is for that price. I shouldn't have to do my pore filling primer, my setting spray, and do my full face of makeup to make this 100%. It should be really doing most of that on its own, in my personal opinion. I'm not going easy on this. I know I'm giving it quite a hard time, but for the price, I feel as though I really should, because I don't want you guys going out and wasting your money. Though I do feel that some people would really like this, and I see how this has been getting really good reviews from some people. I do think it would work for some people, but for me personally, it just wasn't 100%. For the average person, I just don't feel like it is worth the money. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are probably going to tell me how much they love it in the comment section below, but everyone's different. Every product works differently for everybody, and this was just not 100% for me for the price tag. If you liked how it looked on my skin and you do take a lot of photos, video, I think you'll really like it for those people who are in the digital field. However, for the everyday person, as I said, it would definitely be something I'd want you to sample before you go out and spend that $56 for 0.25 ounces of product when you have to build it up. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, and I know I had to bite the bullet to buy this, so after using it, I definitely have to recommend getting a sample before buying it. I also really love the color though. I have to say that I think I've never had such a spot on color match. It's one of the top in terms of color match for me is warm beige. I love the color. I think it's so close to being such a great foundation, except there was just a few things that make me feel like it's not. So that's my personal opinion. I know a lot of people love this foundation, but I had to be completely honest with how I felt like it wore throughout the day, how it looks on my skin, and after the 10-hour mark, I just really feel like I know this foundation and that it wasn't quite up to par with what I would expect for that price tag. With all that being said, I hope this video helped you out if you were on the fence about this foundation. If you want to purchase it yourself, get a sample, or just completely pass. I hope this helped you out in some manner, especially if you have similar skin type to me and coloring. I definitely love the color match for this, and just to show you kind of how it performs on my personal skin. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all your support as always. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'll put that button right there for you guys to subscribe. I don't want you to miss any of my videos, and I'd love to have you part of my YouTube family, and I will see you guys in my next one.